Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Adasari Vocal Artistry Competition, and I'm here with Franziska Hunke. Hello, you're an artist manager, and you've been twice the member of the jury during this competition, and this year you are a special guest and you are observing what is happening. Hello.
Dzień dobry.
How do you feel during the competition when you're not the member of the jury, but you're still listening to what is happening and you're observing the contestants?
Well, at first, of course, it's nearly the same to be a member of the jury or just observing to spot new talents. You try to listen closely where the strengths of every artist are. But then, of course, as a member of jury, you have a different responsibility because, which I think is fantastic, you have to give every artist a feedback when they don't pass to the next round. So even though you may think, I don't like this, or this is not good, or it's not my taste, or I can't sell the singer, you still have to find all the positive things to give them encouraging feedback, but also, of course, may say what you didn't like, or sometimes you think a singer is fantastic, but they don't pass because maybe your colleagues didn't agree with your judgment.
Yes.
So this is also something which is interesting, and if I'm just representing my own company, I can judge for myself if this is an artist I could possibly represent or not. Sometimes you have fantastic voices or nearly perfect packages, but maybe I'm not able to sell that. So.
Yeah. Going back to being you as the member of the jury, do you remember those conversations, those feedback conversations, and do you remember how the contestants feel during those conversations?
Well,
because most of those feedback conversations are after they don't pass to another round. So are they frustrated? Are they sad? Are they angry? Or maybe they are open for pieces of advice?
Of course they are frustrated. I mean, I totally understand that. You try to give your best and then you don't pass the round for whatever reason. I was extremely nervous because I was not used to doing something like that, and I had to figure out what I had making notes of. First of all, sometimes you are writing things you can't really read afterwards because it was dark and you were just in a hurry. And then maybe you have written something nasty, but you don't want to put it like that because it's hurtful. This whole situation is hurtful for an artist. They are very sensitive, and so you have to find a way to give them an encouraging feedback and not just dump them, even though maybe you thought, what the hell did they do here?
You were a member of the jury 4 and 6 years ago. Yes. Can you see any difference between the new generation of singers and the singers back then?
Yeah, the pandemic changed a lot in the whole business. My main problem, which I thought was quite obvious here, is the choosing of repertoire. Sometimes they start with an aria. You think, why do they sing that? What do they want to tell us?
Yes.
For me, it's important to be touched by emotions. I want to hear different colors in an aria. I don't want to hear that an aria is difficult. We know they are difficult, but I always compare it to a prima ballerina who is doing her periods, but we don't want to see the bleeding feet they may have in rehearsals. So I always suggest them to sing below their abilities because on a competition day, you don't have your best day. And if you challenge yourself with a repertoire which you can perform brilliantly on a super day, And it's totally different if you sing an aria in an opera,
Yeah.
where you can build up the character and get into the mood of this scene, or if you have to do it from
Immediately,
immediately,
yes.
and maybe you have sung something totally different, style-wise and emotionally. And switch over. Luckily, there were some of the candidates who took their time and went backstage and came back, so they had a different concentration, which I really admired, that they take the freedom to do that. Some are too shy to do it, and it's their presentation, their chance to yeah.
Okay, now you're looking at them as an artist manager. So probably what are you looking for when you are an artist manager? What are you looking for when looking at young singers? And do you have any advice for them, the main advice for them to be on the market and to, have a good position as young singer?
First of all, find repertoire which shows your strengths the best, and no weaknesses. Of course, we all have weaknesses, but you have to try to paint them over with good makeup or whatever, and present yourself with repertoire which is below your abilities, so you can shine with it. Yeah. And also try to find arias where you can show different emotions, so you have different colors to offer, not just one joyful or very sad one, but maybe there's something where you can switch between those emotions, and so you can also give us the different colors. Then, of course, I have to see if I can sell them. There were brilliant voices here, which I thought, no, I can't. I don't have the clients or partners who would engage them, because I'm quite well known for young artists, but they are maybe too developed, or they are singing a Fach. No one would ask me for artists, because they would think they only have names and not someone who has never sung a role. Like Turandot or something like that. So you would, and then you have to, so you have to think, if I offer them a collaboration or ask them for collaboration, I have to take care that their calendar is filling. And if I can't promise that this is happening, which is very hard since the pandemic anyway, then it's not fair for them to say, okay, I want to work for you, but I know I can't do anything for you.
And the last question, why do you think as an artist manager that there are so few tenor voices in the competition? But is it an overall situation also?
There are different points, I think. Sometimes you have brilliant tenor voice, and as soon as this voice is spotted, they are selling it everywhere. Yeah. And the tenor doesn't have the time to develop, or maybe they even don't need those competitions. There are some singers who are winning every competition, but they don't make a career, and others who are thrown out in every first round, but they make a big career. So this is also something, maybe they are busy. I heard from some professors that their students wanted to go, but they have so much to do, and they have to concentrate on one thing, and why should they go to a competition if they can't offer their best? So, but yes, sometimes you have everyone is looking for bases, and there are no bases around. And then suddenly you have a year where you have 4 bases you would love to work for, and those things are changing over and over again.
Yes, and what's, if you could pick one thing that is the most challenging for young singers today, not in competitions, but on the market, what do you think is the biggest one?
Well, I'm from the last millennium, I'm not a fan of social media. And I think sometimes they are too distracted by those things. And also, when I started in this business, we just had invented those recordings, so we could record vocal lessons. Yeah. Now they are all recording them with their mobile phones, but I sometimes doubt that they really take it in. It's as if I go somewhere having a look at scenery or churches, And it's different if I take pictures of it, or if I look and I know I don't have anything to take pictures of. So it's totally differently taken in.
Okay.
And I think that may be also something which is challenging for them.
So let's wish all the best for all the contestants.
Absolutely, yes.
Franziska Hunke, thank you very much.
Dziękuję bardzo.